Hello everyone, my name is Timon. I'm the designer of SYNCANITE Foundation and I want to give you a brief overview of how one player usually plays a cycle, and that without the interruptions that you usually know from our live streams. Let's directly jump in. The overview is given in the player aid, which states the 4 phases that we need to play. The conflict phase, in which we use our armies to harvest resources. The offering phase, in which we trade our resources to gain, for example, cards and influence. The third phase, in which we use our cards to elect lords, the so-called parliament phase. And last but not least, the foundation phase, in which we use our roll cards. Let's imagine that we play as the magnet. The magnet is a role that lets us manipulate money marker here, which basically increases or decreases the value of our capital. It's the so-called capital value marker. In the first phase, we will draw a doctrine, for example, scheming. Scheming will give us +2B to so-called bribery cards, which in that case could, for example, be consent cards, but also other cards. After we've drawn a doctrine, the cycle dice will be put to 1, due to the simple fact that we are in the first cycle, and then we will use our armies, for example 5, to place them on the map. Maybe we place one here, one there, etc. You get the principle. Of course, every player setting their armies clockwise, so we are not placing all at once, but one, and then the other player, and then the next player, and then we do, and then we harvest. And depending on the doctrine that we have different advantages. For example, for harvesting, in the case of scheming, we get +50%. For in this case, we take some resources from the back and add what our yield is. In this case, our yield from this space here is 4, yet due to scheming we get +50%, so it gets to 6. Whereas gets to 3. Then we have 2 here, due to the fact that we always round up. And finally we get these here. Then we count if everything got paid fairly to the roots, and if all players agree, then we take our resources and get into the next phase. We also take back our armies. Great. Now, as you can see, we deployed armies, we harvested resources and withdrew our armies. Conquest moves and imperial servitude is not active due to the fact that neither war nor tyranny crisis are active at the moment. Let's go further with the offering phase. Each player has 2 transactions, which basically means that we can trade one thing into another. The quantity is not relevant, but we simply are not allowed to mix the stuff up. For example, I can use one transaction to buy one other bribery for 2 SYNCANITE, but I can also, for example, use my greens to buy operation cards. Let's see how much we can afford. One operation card is free, so we can afford exactly 3 cards. Let's buy 3 cards as our second transaction, put all of these into the bag. Well, of course, we could have also done something different. We could also have done, for example, stuff like buying additional armies with food. Or we could have sold our resources. For example, I can just show you an example. I sell 1 food here and I get the amount beside paid. So for example, 1 food sells for 4 capital. As you can see here, there's money from the 1 over the 5 to the 10 till 100, everything is included. Alright, with the 2 transactions. The dignitary auction is something optional because experienced players get the ability to play, for example, with dignitaries like this. These are hero cards that give you unique abilities. You just need to pay for them. So I can, for example, use my 4 capital here to bribe this guy and get him onto my side. The next thing that we need to do is maintenance. In case if we have more than 5 armies, we need to pay maintenance. So for example, if we have 8 armies, the first 5 are free, so we need to pay free maintenance. We pay 1, 2, 3, we can keep 1, and through that spend our resources quite efficiently, right? Because we kept our armies up. Now we get into the parliament phase. The first 2 points here are only active when revolution is active, so we will draw 2 laws and decide whether they will be passed or not. Both laws will get placed and read out so that everyone understands them, and then we use our voting cards that we have from the beginning in our hand. And as you can see, I've also bought some more. I have consent, so thumbs up, I have rejection, so thumbs down. For example, maybe I want this law here to pass and this law here not to pass. I can place as much cards as I want, but I am not forced to place any cards. So all the cards will get put onto a stack. So also from the other players, they get shuffled so that we do not know who placed which card. And due to the fact that I'm playing alone in this demonstration, one law gets through while the other doesn't. And this law here is a white law. Not that good to see on Tabletop Simulator, but the print data is much better. But you also have the symbol on the upper corner. The same symbol here is tyranny, so the tyranny dice will get up by 3 in this case. Not the best law to show it, but you get the idea. Where this law here will get discarded. Another thing, all the cards that we've used now also get discarded. So influence is a one-time thing that you always need to regain, to spend it. Finally, the foundation phase. In the foundation phase, we are allowed to use our roll cards. In that case, we use the effect of the magnet and, for example, say, alright, we raise the prices by 2. So that all the prices here on the side of the markets are risen by 2, so that when we gain resources that we can sell them for a higher price. Then we do player trading. In case another player wants to offer me something or a round, we can do that. Then armies get filled up, so if I have less than my minimum limit of armies, for example, if I have 4 but my minimum limit is 5, I get an army for free. And then the dices for the markets get rolled. You have one specific dice in this game, which has numbers from -5 till +5. This is not doable in Tabletop Simulator yet, or at least not implemented yet, so every number over 5 will be a minus. In that case here, we add 1 syncanite to the market. Then we roll the food market. In that case here, we add 5 food to the market. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we roll the goods market. Here we add 2. Great. Now we all can do another transaction. For example, I can buy 1 further army. And that was a cycle. Then everything starts anew. We will give back our doctrines, we will redraw doctrines, and everything that we've done can be repeated, but the situation changes due to the fact that laws get into play, that the crisis will rise slowly but steadily and change mechanics. And the game is usually finished after 3 to 5 of these cycles. So as you can see, you have a lot of options, but in theory it's not that much. It's quite easy to play. You place armies, you harvest, you spend your resources, you do a voting, you use your card effects, and you can everything that you need to learn, you can learn while playing, because every card that you draw, you can read and think about how to use it and learn combos on the fly. Alright, that's a little overview. I hope it helped. Thanks a lot and take care. Bye bye.